Today, we're diving into a topic that many of you have asked about: how to prepare for the oral communication exam. Now, practice is important when we want to improve our language skills. It's common knowledge that it's difficult to see significant improvement when we do last-minute preparations. However, there are some things that you can do to help you improve your chances. So in this video, I'm going to share with you some strategies and tips to help you feel more confident and prepared for your O-level oral communication exams. We are also offering oral communication mock exams where you will run through the exam and also get some constructive feedback on your response. If you're interested in any of these sessions, do send us a message on WhatsApp or you can email us as well. All these details will be in the description box below. Hi everyone, I'm Teacher Cheryl. Welcome back to Chur's English Tuition. In this channel, we bring you mini lessons for secondary school English. If you want to stay on top of your English game, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss out on any of our lessons. Don't forget to share it with your friends as well. So let's look at what we'll cover in today's lesson. First, we'll get you familiar with the exam by telling you everything you need to know about it. The second thing is the countdown to your oral communication exam. In this section, we'll talk about how to prepare for the exam and what to do in the days leading up to the actual exam itself. We'll also give you a bonus oral comm practice at the end of this video. So let's start off with the first part. Get familiar with the exam. Now, it's important that you know what the exam is all about because then you will know what to expect during the exam, and also you can keep in mind what the examiners are actually looking out for. So the O-level oral communication exam consists a total of 30 marks. It will take about 20 minutes in total, including a 10-minute preparation time. This paper consists of two parts. Part 1 is your planned response section, that's 15 marks. And in this section, you will plan and deliver a response of up to 2 minutes. This response will be based on a video clip that you will be given, and you can watch it as many times as you want during your planning. Part 2 is the spoken interaction section, and it's also 15 marks. In this section, you have to engage in a discussion with your examiner on a topic that's related to the theme from Part 1. Let's take a quick look at the marking criteria given by MOE. In Part 1, you're assessed for your overall response as well as delivery. For your response, you will be assessed on the development and organization of your ideas, and also the expression of your ideas. Let's take a look at the top band of the assessment rubric. You need to have a well-considered response, which is well-developed. You also need to use a wide range of well-chosen vocabulary and structures. The assessment criteria for delivery focuses more on your pronunciation, fluency, and intonation. Basically, your delivery must be fluent, with clear pronunciation and intonation varied to a good effect. For Part 2 spoken interaction, you will be assessed on your communication of perspectives and engagement in the discussion. What this means is that you need to offer a well-considered response with coherent and well-developed perspectives. Again, you will need to use a wide range of well-chosen vocabulary and structures, and of course, have clear pronunciation. You also need to be able to engage in a sustained discussion, sometimes moving a little bit beyond the prompt. Okay, the third thing you will need to familiarize yourself with is some common themes that are used in the oral comm exam. Some of these are leisure, technology, environment, education, health, food, human qualities and values. Do note that this list is not exhaustive. That means there could be other common themes that I haven't given you in this list as well. Now, you also need to know the different question types that will be given to you during the exam. So in Part 1, the questions are usually based on the video. So you may be asked questions something like, what are the people in the video feeling? The second question type is in Part 2, and these are more like community questions. What I mean by that is, you will be asked questions about your personal experience or knowledge. An example question would be, are environmental issues important to you? The third question types are more global questions, meaning that you'll be asked questions about the world around us. You might have to give your opinion or state a stand. An example question would be, human activities are carried out at the expense of the environment. Do you agree? Alright, so now that we know everything that we need to know about the exam, we're now going to talk about what we need to actually do to prepare for it. As with any exam, we need to revise. So the first thing you need to revise is speaking strategies. So what you need to do is consolidate all your notes, all your strategies, the lessons that you've taken, the feedback that you've received, and any other tips that you have garnered for the exam. Make sure you put everything neatly into a notebook or into a file so that you can access them easily. And what you should do is, of course, review them a few times. The important thing that you need to do is to take note of your weak areas and also think of how you can improve those areas. And so as you're revising, you're also going to be continually making notes. So for example, if you have a notebook with all your notes, what you can do on one page is to write down all the strategies that you know, and on another page you can write down some of your own weaknesses, and another section could be on what you can do to actually improve your weaknesses. What I'd like you to do now is to share with us in the comment box below something that you struggle with for the oral communication exam, and also what do you do to overcome those weaknesses. So let us know your thoughts in the comment box below. We also provide online tuition classes for secondary school students.
In the past, I had an extremely fun time at the playground with my friends, and the time that we spent at the playground were truly fleeting but precious.
So talk about the games that you've enjoyed, like other than playing at the playground. Were there any board games you like to play? Who did you play these games with? What made you like playing games? So I think those are some further explanations that could be provided to show the link to the question a bit more.
If you need any further help, please contact us through our website or on WhatsApp. All these details will be in the description box below. Let's move on. Now, as you're revising, there's another thing that you can do as well. What you can do is to think of possible scenarios. What I mean by that is examples or experiences that you can use for different topics or themes. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to ask you to memorize entire stories and then you just blurt them out during the exam, especially when they have no relation to answering the question itself. What I mean by this is to think of certain stories that you could probably apply to different situations. For example, maybe you're in your school netball team. So you could think of mini stories based on your experience in the netball team. And this could link to themes of competition, maybe certain values like perseverance or teamwork. It could also be linked to the theme of leisure, where you talk about netball as a hobby of yours. Or maybe even the theme of health, because you will need to exercise and train in order to play netball for your school. Moving on, so once we have finished revising, we need to also practice. What you need to do is try to speak every day. If you have only 1 month left to your actual exam, then for the entire month before that, you should be trying to speak every day. So what you can do is to gather a whole list of questions. For this, you don't have to worry about specific exam questions. Just look for any questions that cover a whole range of topics. Let me give you some possible questions. What are your best childhood memories? Do you think physical cash will still be used in the future? How has your mobile phone changed your life? Do you think teamwork skills can be learned? Why do you think some people prefer to buy from an online shop than a physical shop? Should schools teach students how to grow plants? So these are just some example questions for you. If you'd like, you can pause the video now and take down these questions. Of course, you'll be able to find plenty other questions on the internet. Just go and search for them. So once you've gathered your whole list of questions, what you need to do is start answering them. So you can actually practice answering a few questions every day. Don't forget to apply the strategies that I talked about in the previous point when you are doing your revision. For example, think about your weaknesses and what would you do to improve them. Now, for every single answer, try to record yourself. So your answers do not have to be a very long response because you're just trying to get into the habit of speaking and answering questions clearly. What you should do is to try to record every response. There are many apps that you can use on your phone to record yourself, or you can use something like Vocaroo. I have a video on how to use Vocaroo as well. The link will be in the description box for you. So why am I asking you to record your response? Because I would like you to analyze your response. It's not just about answering as many questions as you can, but it's also about listening to what you have said and think about how you can actually further improve it. So you should be thinking of things that you have done well for your response and of course areas for improvement. You can also ask people around you for feedback, your family, your friends, your classmates, your teachers, and so on. Of course, as you are gathering all this feedback, make sure you're making notes in your notebook as well so that you can keep track of your own progress. So in the days leading up to your exam, what you should try to do is to do as many complete practice tests as you can. You can ask your teachers if they have any practice tests for you, or maybe you can exchange some with your classmates as well. There are certain assessment books that you could probably purchase as well, which include oral communication exam practices. So for example, if you have 5 full practice tests, what you can do is to do one every single day, 5 days before the exam. So before and after your practice test, apply the strategy that I talked about before. Revise through your notes, think about your strengths and weaknesses, things that you should be doing or should not be doing during your oral comm response. If you'd like further practice, we also offer oral communication mock exam sessions. Feel free to contact us. Our details are all in the description box below. So now what should you do one day before your exam? You need to do a kind of a warm-up. Same thing like athletes who need to do a warm-up before the actual competition itself, you should also do a warm-up for yourself. It is to warm up your brain and also to warm up physically, because when you're speaking, you need to be able to articulate very clearly. So 24 hours before your actual day, if you need to, you can revise through all the notes that you've been making so far. Remember to go through your strengths and all your weak areas as well. Answer any remaining questions from the list of questions that you should have made before. If you have run out of questions, you can just search online again. Like I said, there are really a ton of questions that you can find online. And of course, you should do a final practice test. Go through it like an actual exam. Even though it's a final practice test, don't forget to record yourself because you can play it back and review your response again. What you need to do is to speak, read, write, and listen all in English, not Singlish. And of course, the night before your exam, please remember to get lots of rest. You don't want to be tired out during the exam because when we are tired out, we won't be able to give our best. Finally, on the morning of your exam, try to relax. If you need to, you could do a final review of all your notes. You could answer 1 or 2 more questions because this will help get your brain in that answering mode. So then you'll be fully prepared for the exam itself. Okay, so now that we've gone through everything, I'm going to give you a bonus oral comm practice. How we're going to do this is I'm going to give you 3 questions. 1 question for part 1 and 2 questions for part 2. What I'd like you to do is to complete 1 question at a time. Remember to record all your responses on apps like Vocaroo so that you can review them later. So let's start off with part 1. What you need to do is to time yourself. Give yourself 10 minutes to plan your response. So read the question, watch the video link will be in the description box below, and plan your response. So the question is, how would you feel if you looked out of your window one morning and saw the scene? So pause the video now and complete your part 1 response. Remember to continue this video to go on to part 2. If you have already completed part 1, let's move on to part 2. So for this part, please do not plan your response. What you need to do is to listen to the question and then straight away pause this video and immediately record your response. So are you ready? This is the next question. How do you think communities can prepare themselves for the possibility of natural disasters? So pause the video now and record your response. If you're done with that, I'm going to give you the next question. Are you ready? The question is, some people think that natural disasters are becoming more frequent because of human activities. Do you agree? So pause the video now and record a response for this final question. Once you're done with all your responses, do remember to continue this video for some final tips. Okay, so now you should have 3 recordings in total. Make sure to listen to them. Think about what you have done well in your responses and also what areas you feel that you need to improve on. Like I said before, you can always get feedback from other people as well, from your friends, your family, or your teachers. Make sure to review your notes and to see if there are any strategies that you can use to further improve your response. And then you can actually do a kind of corrections for your oral comm response. That means to record a corrected version. So you're going to try it again. Answer the same questions again. And then listen back to see if you have made any improvements in your corrected response. Always keep in mind what the examiners are going to be looking out for. If you need to, refer back to the beginning of this video when we talked about the marking criteria. These are the things that we have covered in this lesson. Get familiar with the exam, countdown to the oral communication exam, and also I've given you a bonus oral comm practice. That's all for today's lesson. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Most importantly, please leave a comment below if you have any questions about this lesson. And also feel free to send us your video requests as well. See you in the next one. Bye!